Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. And this movie came out in 1988, and it is the 7th film in the Friday the 13th ongoing series. And if you've been watching my channel for a bit, you would know that I'm reviewing all the Friday the 13th movies this month, in this collection at least. And these movies have kind of gotten progressively worse for me in terms of entertainment value. Like, I don't consider the first one to be that great, really, and the sequel to that first movie was funny bad to me, and same thing with the third film, and the fourth one, and 5 and 6 was funny at parts, but mostly pretty boring. And I think it started with part 4, where it started to get a little bit more boring for me to watch, because I was just watching the same thing over and over again, and it was kind of just poorly structured for me. This movie, I have to say, I'm glad I watched. I think I kind of love this movie. If we're talking my own personal enjoyment and that alone, like how much entertainment I got from this movie, I love this movie. I think it's probably my favorite out of this entire collection, and it was so much more entertaining than everything else, and it's pretty much a completely different movie. It's like a superhero movie, basically, where our main character, she has like telekinetic powers or whatever, and she just most of the movie is just like a doctor trying to figure out how to control it. And it's just so funny whenever it happens, and it's pretty entertaining throughout, because when characters die in this movie, it's always so fun to watch, and the kills are like throughout the entirety of the film, not just like spread out and have gigantic chunks in between that are really boring. This movie is just like, it starts and just keeps going and does not stop, and it's great. It's slightly under 90 minutes, and it does not waste 1 minute of it for the most part. And there were a couple points where I was a little bored, but 90% of it, I was on board and entertained. And it also had like the elements to like make a good horror movie in this movie somehow. Like whenever Jason Voorhees is about to kill someone in this movie, it's never false. And in any other movie, like a really bad movie, they would just have like false jump scares, like the cameraman is creeping up behind a character, and normally they would just be like, that's one of my friends just being ridiculous and just giving a false scare to the audience. And then after that, Jason Voorhees or a killer or whatever horror icon of the movie would come in and then do something. But in this movie, that doesn't happen. And instead of like a false scare, it is Jason, and he's going to kill that person, and he does, and it's satisfying, because there are so many characters that I hate in this movie, but it's kind of funny how everything is presented, and I'm laughing at the movie constantly. And also how the music is used in this movie. It's like, it's nothing like great, but the way that they use it, it's kind of like a punchline whenever Jason is about to kill someone. And it's so funny to me. And the kills in this movie are awesome. And I know that they were cut down because the MPAA forced them to do that. Otherwise, it would go one step beyond an R rating, I believe. And while I do see that, I'm not disappointed with what we got in the end. I thought it was a good balance between like having something really fun and like keeping it satisfying for those people who just want to see Jason Voorhees kill a bunch of people. And I didn't really care about any of the characters in this movie, but I did not care about that at all, because the movie was moving along at a reasonable pace. I love the climax to this movie. I don't care how cheesy it is. It's the most entertaining thing that this movie could have done, and it was highly satisfying. I love the makeup effects in this movie. I think that Jason Voorhees looks great in this movie, and you can see that like a lot of damage is done to his body, and it shows, and it doesn't look fake or like unrealistic. and he looks like a zombie, and it's communicated very well that he is. And also, one thing that I kind of like about this movie is that with our main character having telekinetic powers, it makes it more entertaining for me because there's like something new added into this franchise that has not been done before, in this series at least. And by adding that element into the movie and having Jason Voorhees kill someone at least within 15 minutes after he killed someone, I think that's a perfect idea and like a good balance to keep me entertained throughout the whole thing, because I'm seeing something unique and different, and I'm getting the stuff that I was entertained by the previous movies, and it's just the perfect mix of what I'm looking for in a movie. And I'm going to talk about my rating for a second, and if I'm going to rate this movie very objectively, like in the sense that how I would just any other movie, then it would be like really low, like a 2 out of 10 basically, because all it has to offer is just entertainment value and just me laughing at the movie. But here it's a bit different. I'm not going to give it a 2 out of 10 because that would give off the implication that this would be my least favorite. And also, in comparison to the previous movies, I do think that this one is the best out of all of them, because it just has so much to offer for me, and it is a guilty pleasure for me. I can safely say that in terms of like that's where I would place this movie, into guilty pleasures, and it's a lot of fun for me. And also comparing it to like the original film, which I just found to be really dull, this one I do not really find it dull at all. And just having it in the context of Friday the 13th, like this entire franchise, it makes it a bit different in my eyes when I rate it. So that's why it's going to be not a 2 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10. So if you like funny bad movies, I would highly recommend this one. And everyone else, you would probably just skip it, but I would happily come back to this movie. I could rewatch this movie right now and not feel bad because it was just so fun. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Friday the 13th Part 7, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Coraline. I've never seen this movie before. I got it as a blind buy. I just picked it up and decided, you know what, I'll check it out. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.